Hey, what is up, guys? I am here to give you a Toy Story 3 review. I put this off so much that, well, I didn't put it off. I kept losing my notes. Google Chrome wasn't working, so I have my notes here. I got the cast, and I have the notes of the movie right here. So, I'm just going to kind of talk about it a little bit. This movie was probably, it's funny, action, and emotional, in my opinion. There was a part that almost made me cry in this movie that I still watch every time I see it, even though I know the outcome. And there was just so many characters that they turned out unexpected, and I will explain that later. So I'm gonna get back into I'm just gonna get right into the characters. You have Woody being played by Tom Hanks, Buzz Lightyear being played by Tim Allen. Jessie being played by Joan Cusack. Yeah, so if you've seen my other videos, you should know who they are. Lotso O'Hugging Bear is played by Ned Beatty. Lotso is a bear that when they go to Sunnyside, they see, and he smells like strawberries, and there's more story to him. I'm not going to give it too much away. Andy is now being played by John Morris. I don't think, yeah, Andy's now older in this, so the character should be different. Mr. Potato Head is being played by Don Rickles. Slinky the dog is being played by Black Cloak. Rex is being played by Wallace Shawn. Ham is being played by John Ratzenberger. Mrs. Potato Head is being played by Estelle Harris. Ken, which is, if you watch Ken and Barbie, you should know that Ken is the boy Barbie doll that fall in love together, and he's being played by Michael Keaton. Barbie, yeah, a Barbie doll, you should know who Barbie is being played by Jodie Benson. Bonnie, that is a little girl that's actually a human in this movie, and you're going to see her later, and I'll talk about her later. And she's being played by Emily Hetton. The little green aliens are being played by Jeff Pigeon. Mr. Pickle Pants is being played by Timothy Dalton. That is this Shakespeare dog, I think. Trixie is being played by Kristen Shaw. She is what's it called? A dinosaur, but I forget what kind of dinosaur it is. Trixie is being played by Kristen. Oh, sure, I already said her. Buttercup is being played by Jeff Garlin. If you guys watch Wizards of Waverly Place, he is in that movie. Buttercup is a toy pony. Dolly is being played by Bonnie Hunt. And actually, Trixie, by the way, if you watch Gravity Falls, I don't watch it, but I see like the advertisements. She is the little girl named Mabel. But Dolly is being played by Bonnie Hunt. Stretch is being played by Whoopi Goldberg. Stretch is like an octopus. Chunk is being played by Jack Angel. I forget who Chunk is, though. Sparks is being played by Jane Rabson. Twitch is being played by John Sankin. Twitch is like a little tiny bug. Andy's mom is being played by Lori Metcalf. Bonnie's mom is being played by Lori Allen. Molly, Molly's Andy's sister, is being played by Beatrice Miller. Sarge, which is one of those little army men, is being played by Ollie Ermy. Chatter Telephone is being played by Teddy Newton. He's one of those toy telephones that you can use to pretend to talk on the phone with. Bookworm is being played by Richard Kind. Chuckles, which is a clown, is being played by Bud Lucky. Now Buzz goes into Spanish mode in this, I should say. It's a little bit of a spoiler. And the character that plays the Spanish mode is, I don't know how to really say his name, Joaver Fernandez Pena. Petey/Young Andy is being played by Charlie Bright. Pete Rice is being played by Amber Known. I don't know who these next guys are, so yeah, I'm not really gonna. Jock in the Box is being played by Lee Urkel. The janitors that you find out eventually he's being played by Bob Peterson. Big Baby's being played by Woody Smith, and that's about it. Sid, they say that Sid was in it, but he wasn't really in it. So now I'm gonna get into the actual movie, and the movie starts out when you see like a train being ridden like in, I think it's like in in the Grand Canyon or something, and you see Mr. Potato Head, which they call One-Eyed Boat, is stealing money, and Woody whips him with his rope and tries to stop him, but he forgot that he's a married woman, so and Mrs. Potato Head comes up with her Mrs. Potato Head comes up and attacks Woody, and Woody falls off the train, so you think he's done, but he's not. Bullseye and Jesse save him, and then Woody tries to go is gonna try to stop the train because one of the tracks that they were gonna go on explode with dynamite caused by One-Eyed Boat, aka Mr. Potato Head, and One-Eyed Boat catches a ride with the little 3 green aliens that are their kids now, I guess, and Woody tries to stop the train, but because there's orphans in there, but he fails. The trail falls off the tracks, but Buzz Lightyear is able to catch it, and then Buzz, Jesse, Bullseye, and Woody all find Mr. Potato Head, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, and the little green aliens, and they go to attack them, but they have a invisible force field. They have a Slinky the dog as a force field, and Rex is a dinosaur that eats force field dogs. But then you see evil Dr. Porkchop, which is the ham, and he teleports the Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head and the little green aliens and Slinky back up to his ship, and they're gonna, and he shoots the monkeys that you use to play pick up monkeys, and they're gonna use them to kill them, and you find out that it was just Andy playing with his toys, and one of the parts, Andy tells Buzz to shoot his. Andy, while controlling Woody, has him tell Buzz to shoot his laser at his badge, and he said, and Woody Buzz doesn't want to take the chance to kill him, but he does it, and then the whole ship falls out, but it's just a box. Molly, as a kid, knocks down, and I think it was the train set or something, and Andy's mom was recording the footage, and it shows like past memories of Andy. I'm not going to mention it. It just shows him getting older. One of the, I guess I can mention 3 of the things that he does. It was playing "You Got a Friend in Me" as it was going. Andy's mom has Andy say happy birthday to Molly when she was like, I don't know, and he says happy birthday with the cake in his mouth. Andy measures himself as he gets taller, like everybody does, and Buzz, and he's also doing it to his toys like Mr. Potato Head, Slinky, Woody, and stuff like that. And then one of them, he's watching a movie, and he's eating popcorn, and he puts one of the pieces of popcorn into Rex's mouth, which I thought was a nice touch. And then they show the future, and obviously Andy was grown up. He's now 17 or 18. They didn't really say how old he was. I'm assuming it was 18. And I think he just graduated high school, so he's getting ready to go to college. And the toys, I guess they said, haven't play with him who knows how long. And they've been attempting to get Andy to play with them. And this is one of the attempts. They probably had many attempts. One of the attempts that they do is they have the army guys get I think it was Andy's cell phone, and they have like, I guess, the home phone in their pockets, and everyone's cluttered in too. So, and Buzz is still kind of falling for Jesse. They showed a little bit last time, but it was at the end. I guess Buzz has a crush on Jessie. The little green aliens still say that they have saved their lives to Mr. Potato Head because he actually saved their lives in the last movie. But anyways, Buzz has Andy's cell phone number. If you can see, it's like the dislocation kind of thing. And they call Andy's phone to try to get him to play with them. Because it was in the toy box, so obviously to answer his phone, he has to go get through the toy box. But it fails. Rex actually had the phone, and he wouldn't let go of it. So Rex was impressed that he actually held him. And then Woody kind of gives up and says that it's Operation Playday's a no-go. And then they're gonna get into attic mode because that's probably where they're gonna go. And Woody talks about how it's always its job isn't about being played with; it's always about being there for Andy. And they kind of mention about old toys that they have gotten rid of, like Wretch, that penguin that they had. What was his name? Wheezy, and Bo Peep, which was, I guess, Woody's girlfriend, so he was kind of upset when she was mentioned. But Andy kind of did have some special attachments to them, because he was always, because he kept them through the yard sales and everything. And then he's trying to look at the positive side of going into the attic, like the old TV, video games, the guys from the Christmas, and he actually says the guys from the Christmas decorations, they're fun, right? And they're like, yeah, and I guess like they're probably boring. And then the Sarge and the armies are getting ready to leave because they think they're going to get thrown out, and the army guys are always the first one to go. And they also talk about how Andy's going to have his own kids, and maybe they'll play with him too. And he says that Andy will hold on to him, he'll guarantee it. And then you see Woody on Andy's desk looking through his pictures, and Buzz like, you're guaranteeing her. And then Woody's like, what can I say? He's just speechless. He's even himself not sure if he's going to get kept. Then Andy's coming in, and Molly's asking him if he can have his cell phone, his computer. And then Andy's mom wants him to start getting packed for college, start getting all this stuff from and putting it into the attic, and putting it in the trash. Molly actually mentions how she gets his room on Friday. And Andy's mom's questioning what she wants to do with the old toys like Woody and stuff. And he said maybe donate them, sell the Sunnyside, sell them online. And Andy just says, no one's going to want those old toys. They're junk. And then Andy's mom says, okay, you have your Friday. Anything that's not packed for holidays either goes in the attic or it's trash. Your choice. So then Andy's kind of thinking about what to do with them. And he puts every toy in a trash bag except for Woody. And he goes to put it in the attic. He's going to take Woody to college. He goes to put the toys in the attic. And actually, Molly actually had to get rid of some things too, I forgot to mention. And one of the things she gets rid of is Barbie. She's going to be donated to Sunnyside. And Molly's having trouble lifting the box for Sunnyside, so Andy goes to help her. Andy's mom walks by and thinks that that it's trash. So Woody panics. He actually calls Buster, which is the old dog, well, the puppy that they had. He's not a puppy no more, because he tries to ride away with Buster because he used to be a little fast, but he ends up getting too old. And then so that Woody tries to use scissors to like, I guess, stab the hole in the bag so they could all get out. And all the toys think they're being thrown away, and they hear the truck, and they can't figure out how to rip the bag. And then Rex's tail actually has a point. It's so sharp that I guess you can rip through the bag. So that's what ends up happening. Woody thinks that they were shipped, that they got away in the garbage truck, and they were destroyed, because that's what happens to garbage after that. But they went into the car to Sunnyside, And then Woody asks what they're doing, and it looks bad. They think that they are thrown away, that they were abandoned. Um, and Woody tries to tell them that they were putting him in the attic, and it says that it looks bad. And they try to go leave the car because they were going to Sunnyside, but Andy's mom gets in the car, so that Woody wants them all to climb out, hide underneath the back seats, but they don't want to leave. And Bobby's actually crying over the fact that Molly flew away after all the years that they had. And Woody says that some daycare is a place for lonely toys, and that makes Bobby cry even more. You see the daycare, there's a playground there and everything. And then they finally arrive. Andy's mom drops off the toys. And then Buzz and the Rex can't see because they were trying to look through the box to see what was going on. And Rex makes the box fall, and everyone there was like, new toys, yay! And they were all welcoming them, and Mrs. Potato Head actually feels twitches muscles, and Mr. Potato Head's disappointed that he doesn't have any muscle. And then we finally meet Lotso. He drives up in a truck, and he talks about how that they were abandoned by their owners and that they're safe now, and that Jesse asks what happens when the kids grow up, and Lotso says that when the kids get old, new ones take their place. And he said that the beauty of having no owners means no heartbreak. Woody then said, and then Andy, and then the toys go. We finally meet Ken and Bobby instantly fall in love with each other. And they're giving them a tour. There's like a place where you can go massage yourself, and yeah, there's like when you get old and all that stuff. And then they get the butterfly room, what they call it, where they're going to be played with. And then right when other toys are about to leave, Ken puts Barbie, well, he asks Barbie to move into his dream house with him, and she accepts. And then all the toys leave. Let me see if I'm missing anything before. Okay, yeah, I got everything so far. And then all the kids are waiting for the toys, and Woody tells them that it is nice here, but we have an owner, so we have to leave. The game refuses to leave. Even Buzz says that his mission with Woody is complete. And Woody says that he wants to be there for Andy, so he goes to leave. Bullseye actually wants to go with them, but Woody doesn't want him to be left alone in the attic. So then Woody goes to leave, and then he leaves and hides underneath the janitor's car, but goes into the bathroom. He actually almost loses his hat in the toilet, which I actually thought was funny. And then the janitor's cleaning the mirror, and Woody is like in his view where he can see him in the mirror, and he goes, "What the heck?" But it was actually like a dirt spot, and Woody actually disappears right after. And then Woody's on the roof, and he has to figure out a way to get off the roof. So there really is no way out. Then his hat blows off, and he realizes that he can go parasailing. If you don't know what that is, it's like a little thing that you hold on to after you when you go to ride a boat. That's kind of what he does. He actually ends up landing in a tree though, and his hat falls off, and his rope that he used to have that gets hung up by a tree. And Bonnie finds him and takes him home with them. So of course that kind of backfires with Woody's plan. So let me make sure. And then the rest of the game, we're back at Sunnyside and waiting to be played with. But then they realize something. All the toys that actually were there were hiding. Because, and Buzz is kind of like, what's going on? Like, Buzz actually found this suspicious. And, they were all like, I guess, little 2-year-olds or something, because they just came and destroyed these toys. They beat the crap out of them. They actually take Jesse's hair and use it as finger paint to paint the wall. They tear off, Rex's tail. They put the, I don't know if this was this time, but they put the little green aliens into Slinky Sprin. They just beat the shit out of these guys. And then when Buzz gets thrown over to the window, he sees that on the other side that all the toys over there get treated with care, that they know how to play with them. And they're being destroyed. So Buzz thought this was awkward. So let me see what was next. Let's see here. Okay. So then Woody gets to Bonnie's house, and he's being played with. This is when he meets, what was his name? This is when he meets Mr. Pickle Pants, Trixie, and Buttercup, and I think Dolly too. And they're all trying to stay in character. They're all having a tea party. And Woody has to leave. And Woody Woody finally realizes that he loses his hat because there was like these little green like balls that were in the thing, and says, "You're not a real hat boy. He doesn't have a hat." And as the Woody's being played with, he has to go home, so he goes home. So he goes to go home. He's being played with. There was like an evil witch, which was Dolly, and they used a spaceship to get out and everything. So that was kind of what was it that. And then it shows after the game being destroyed, so they're gonna request to be moved to the butterfly room with the big kids. And Buzz tries to leave, but the doors are locked, so he goes out through the vent by kind of like flying in the air. And then you see all the toys, like the robot toy, what's his name, Twitch, Ken and Bobby making love. Buzz goes into the vending machine, and Ken, there was like this robot toy that could make an angry face and a smiley face. The octopus, what was the octopus's name? Let me see, Stretch, and I think that's it. Talking about the new recruits, and they say that none of them they'll be lucky if they last just a week. And then they asked about the spaceman, and the robot says he's not the smartest knife, where the knives come from. He's like, neither are you. And then Buzz hears this, so he goes to leave, but he gets run over by Big Baby. And actually, it does mention that Lotso and Big Baby were abandoned by the same owner, so you're gonna find out more about that later. So then he gets caught. So Buzz gets taken to the library. Doesn't tell you anything about. And then Woody wants to go home, so Trixie's gonna fire up the computer so he can go home. And then Buzz gets to the library, and he wants to talk to Lotso, and Ken's like, and Ken says, "You can't talk to Lotso till we say you can talk to Lotso." And then Lotso sees this, and he's like, "What do you?" And Lotso catches them, and Lotso says, "This is not how we treat our guests." And then Buzz asks for if he could be transferred to the butterfly room, and then Lotso accepts his request because he showed initiative, and that's what they wanted. So then he goes to let his friends know that that they can move, but he talks about, but Lotso kind of denies it because it kind of makes sense what he's saying, because he talks about how the butterfly, how the kids in the butterfly room need some toys to play with, because I guess they don't really have any toys since they probably destroyed all of them. And he says that now that you and Buzz, me and you are older, Buzz, that we need to live in style, and Buzz doesn't accept because he's a family man. So then Lotso kind of gets this weird look on his face and puts him back in the timeout chair. Then he has the bookworm get the Buzz Lightyear manual, and they're gonna put him back to his factory setting to demo. So we find out that Lotso's evil, and Buzz gets switched to demo mode. You're gonna find out what happens to that later. And then they hear Buzz scream, so the gang hears this, and Mrs. Potato Head's gonna take her eye off to see what it was, and she sees Andy. Because she had I forgot to mention that she lost her eye in this movie. So, and she sees that and Buster tries to eat it, and she's like, "Get away, Buster! Get away!" And then Andy, let me actually see how much charge I have left on this thing. Okay, I'm doing pretty good so far. Andy was looking up in the attic looking for them because they thought they didn't want Andy and that Andy didn't care about us. And they realized that Andy wants them, so Jesse all the gang want to go home. Lotso says that it comes out. He kind of acts like a joke to Mr. Potato Head. Says that they love two new toys, and he says, "Listen, Sweet Potato, you're not leaving Sunnyside." And she's like, "Sweet Potato, I have a accessories and deserve more respect." And she takes her mouth off. She also mentions that the kids destroyed a pocketbook, which it was fine. And then Mr. Potato says, "Hey, no one takes my wife's mouth except me." And then Jesse says they're all gonna leave, and Lotso says, "You ain't leaving Sunnyside." And Jesse's like, "Hey, yeah, who's gonna stop us?" And then Buzz has like this angry look on his face, and he attacks the gang, and he thinks he's a real space racer again. And I guess he's with Lotso, and he thinks Lotso's his commander, so he follows Lotso's orders. So then they all put him in like jail, kind of. It was just cubbies, but it was like jail to them because you know the toys. And Mr. Potato Head's gonna spend the night in the sandbox, and they explain that the rules to and pretty much though if you go against the rules you just spend the night in the box. And then Lotso says that if you start if you start off from the bottom at Sunnyside, life here could be a dream come true. But if you break the rules, step out of line, you just hurt yourself. And he finds Woody's hat, so they think that they killed Woody. And they actually tell Buzz that they're gonna say anything to make you doubt yourself. So you're gonna find out what they do with that. And then Woody finds out how to go home. Trixie, there was like a dinosaur attack down the street that I guess smashed Trixie, so yeah. But Woody just finds out how to go home, and he thinks actually that he's gonna be able to go on campus, which because he's like, "Hello, I'm the big toy on campus," but he's probably just gonna be staying in the room. He won't be doing shit. And then they actually Woody says that he came from Summerside, and they were shocked that he escaped. They tell him that Lotso was evil, and Woody's like, "What are you talking about?" Because he doesn't believe it, because he thought Lotso was good. But Chuckles will tell him, because Chuckles actually knew Lotso, because he was there, because they used Chuckles, Big Baby, and Lotso all had an owner named Daisy, and she unwrapped Lotso, and she kind of loved him like Andy loved Woody in the first one, and then and she loved all of them, but Andy, like Lotso, was Daisy's favorite. And then they took a drive, I guess, and they hit a rest stop, and Daisy fell asleep. So they left the toys. So she left the toys behind, which I don't understand how actually that really happened. Why didn't the mom just grab the toys with them? So it's kind of the mom's fault that this happened. So then Lotso was trying to get home. Who knows how long it took him to get home. And by the time Lotso and Chuckles and Big Baby got home, she already had a new bear. So then something changed in Lotso. He was just angry all the time. He was bitter. And he talked about how he replaced us. And then Chuckles says, "No, she only replaced you." And he's like, "She replaced all of us, didn't she? Didn't she?" And Big Baby tries to go up there, and because Big Baby didn't see it because he was holding Lotso up. And then Lotso says, "She don't love you no more." And then he talks about how they were loved, unwanted, unloved, unwanted, cast off. And then they found Sunnyside, and Lotso took it over, and he was no longer his friend. And Woody asked him how he got out, and he said that he got broke, and Daisy found him and took her home. And then he says other toys, they weren't so lucky. So then Woody's gonna go back. Is gonna go back to Sunnyside and bust his friends out. So you're gonna find out more about that later. And then the gang's still in those cells. Woody, Ham is actually playing the harmonica like a sad jail tune, but then he kind of kicks it up, and Buzz tells him to stop. And then Lotso and his other. And by the way, I should mention that Bobby and Ken woke up in this episode. Well, not this episode. And I've woken up because of what they were doing to her friends. And then Lotso. So I was saying. Mr. Potato Head, though, was just beat up. He was all sanded, and he said there's nothing but sand and a couple of Lincoln logs. And Ham says, I don't think those were Lincoln logs. That was hilarious. Then the gang get played with again, and Woody actually sees Jesse get thrown at a wall, which was hilarious. And then what's it called? See if I can find it. Oh man, hold on. The chatter phone calls Woody, and he thinks it's weird at first because it's calling him, and he says hello, and he says that he should not have left, because they really, I guess they intensified the security since they left. So then he said that just hang your head high and you'll survive. Woody says that they have a toy that they have a kid waiting for, so he would really appreciate the help. So then the phone tells him how to get out of there. He talks about how there's a key on the hook in the office that you can unlock to get yourself out. And he talks about how Lotso's trucks drive, I guess, on patrol 24/7. And then that there's this big wall 8 feet to jump over. And it doesn't sound that bad, but the real problem he talks about is the monkey, and he's like the eye in the sky because he can see through the cameras, and it's still like this montage of toys trying to escape, but the monkey always catches them. So he talks about how if you don't take out the monkey, you will not survive. And then the gang sees that Woody's alive, and they kind of fill him in, and he apologizes for leaving them, and then they talk about how they're gonna bust out of there, and they kind of fill him in with what's going on with Buzz. So then they talk about the escape plan, and they were doing roll call, and Mr. Potato Head wasn't there. He was replaced with a real potato, and it shows him trying to escape, but it was a setup. And he Woody sneaks Slinky, and he goes through the air vents. And then they put Mr. Potato back in the box, but he takes all of his pieces off, and you're gonna find out they do a lot with that actually. Yep. So then Bobby actually says that she wants to get back with Ken, that she doesn't want to be here. I want to be with you, and she'll do anything he says. And it shows I'm going to tell you about this right now, that Ken shows Bobby his clothes, and it shows him modeling pretty much all his outfits, and you're going to find out why she has him do this. And then Woody and Slinky go to attack the monkey, and Woody fights the monkey. He actually uses his what's it called? The crash spells, or whatever they're called, against Woody's head. Then Slinky tapes the monkey and like a mummy. And then Slinky kind of waves the camera around to show that I guess that plan was a success. And then Ham and Rex pretend to have a fight so that Buzz would let them out. And Jesse traps Buzz in a container, and Buzz tries to get out, and Mr. Potato Head becomes then the tortilla, and they did some hilarious stuff with that. He had shown Woody that the coast was clear because Lotso was sleeping, and then a bird comes and tries to eat the tortilla, eat Mr. Potato Head. And then this was scares the bird away and says fly away cow, and then he breaks, and then he sees a pickle farm. So see what happens. And then the reason why Bobby had Ken model those outfits was a setup. When he gets into his karate outfit, Bobby attacks Ken, and he tapes him, I think, to a board or something. And then she tears up all his outfits until she tells him what Lotso did to Buzz and how to switch him back. and he tells him about the instruction manual, and she goes to get it from the bookworm, and then she thinks it's Ken, so then he sees that she was wearing high heels, and he thinks it's Ken. It was kind of funny. And then they tell her that there was like a switch for Buzz, and they try to switch him in demo mode, but it fails, and you have to use a paperclip to hit the reset button, and Rex's fingers are like the size of paperclip, so he hits it Rex tries to hit it, and then you're not supposed to hold the button for more than 5 seconds. Oops. So then Buzz got switched to Spanish mode, and he starts talking Spanish. And they're gonna do some great stuff with it. Yeah, Bud versus Mr. Potato Head. Yeah, Bud gets switched to Spanish mode. Okay. Then the game finally arrives, and Buzz finally spots Jessie. He thinks she's the hottest looking girl in the world. Mr. Potato Head's the pickle now, so then they have him. He actually was tall and so tall, and he gained weight, and he hated it. Then the gang are trying to cross the paths around, and then one of the toys fall, and Big Baby's on the swing, and it was kind of creepy to see him because he has like a deformed eye. And he was just so scary, kind of walking around. But the gang had Woody, I think it was Woody, Bullseye, and I don't forget who it was, but they were hiding underneath the bucket. Buzz is trying to do the tango with Jessie. But then Woody comes up and says Woody, and then Buzz in Spanish, but it says the cowboy. And then Woody has to open up the little garbage disposal kind of thing, where the garbage goes to, and he wants Buzz to give him a boost, but Buzz does it himself to impress Jessie. And then Woody slides down the thing, I think it's the garbage chute. And then he tells the gang, okay, come down, but not all at once. And then the gang's like, what are you saying? I think he said it at once. He's like, no. And then he has Slinky jump, because he's a Slinky, to catch the other side, but Lotso actually catches them because he had broken the chatter phone and to force him to tell him. And Lotso says that if you don't come back, we need you to come back. Jessie says that it's not a fantasy. This is a prison. And then Lotso says that if you don't, then you just get trash. You made to be thrown away. And he has the stretch try to push them all in. Woody mentions Daisy, and she says that Lotso says that she replaced me. She never loved me. We're all just trash, made to be thrown away. And Woody's like, she loved you, Lotso, more than a kid could ever allow her toy. And once you couldn't have her, no one could. You've been lying to Big Baby. And then Big Baby sees the necklace that Daisy had given her, and she says, Mama. And then he smashes it and says, don't be such a baby. And then Big Baby throws Lotso in the trash. And Woody and the gang try to go over, but one of the green aliens gets stuck, so Woody has to go help him. Lotso pulls Woody in the trash. And I should mention that Ken got back together with Barbie because he did, and he doesn't let Barbie go to save her friends. And then all the gang are in the trash, and Buzz gets floated in the dark, and all the stuff is falling in. Jessie's not there, so Buzz goes to save her, but they're not going to make it in time, so he throws Jessie, and then Buzz got smashed by the TV, and we think he's dead, but he returns to he actually turns to normal Buzz. Then the gang gets in the garbage. Well, now they're at the dump, and they are gonna they're going down the dump when the trash is gonna be destroyed, and Slinky gets up into the magnet because he's metal. So then they have to grab some of the metal, because if they don't, they're gonna be chopped to pieces. Rex has trouble with it, but he eventually gets it. They find Lotso, and they try to help him out, and they succeed. And then Rex says, after they had done that, Rex says, look, I can see daylight. And Woody's like, I don't think that's daylight. It was actually like a fire burning all the trash. And then there's a button, so Lotso goes up to get it, but Lotso abandons them and says, "Where's your kid now?" And he's like, "No." And then this is the part that actually made me cry, because and by the way, the green aliens went found the claw and they got distracted, but this made me kind of cry, and it's kind of tough to talk about this. Woody and the gang almost got destroyed. You see them holding hands. They knew they're going to be destroyed. And I actually thought that it was going to happen. That's how the movie was going to end. And it was going to just end like that. And it kind of made me sad to see that, because I was thinking, is this really how Toy Story is going to end when I saw it? They're all going to be destroyed and never going to find Andy. But then the green aliens had the crane, which is the claw, and they swooped down, which I don't know how conveniently it was them, and got them, and got all the gain, and they were so happy. Like I just got a little bit emotional just talking about it. When I actually saw it, it made me emotional. You have no idea. And then Mr. Potato Head, because he was always trashed about what Andy's attic would be like, and he says, "I take it all back." And then they ask what Lotso is, and he's like, and because they want to beat the shit out of him. And Woody says, "Forget it, guys, not worth it." And then you see Lotso handing around, and a garbage man finds him and says, "Hey, I used to have one of these when I was a kid, strawberry." And then he straps Lotso to his truck, and he's going to drive off Lotso, so Lotso's done. Then the gang makes it back to Andy's house. They clean up a little bit, so they look like they were never gone. Then all the gang go in and Mrs. Potato Head finally finds her eye, and they go in the box, and they talk about how all the good things about needing to take care of him, but Mr. Potato Head's like, "Yeah, he's a good kid. Tell him to get a haircut." That was actually kind of funny. Then Woody goes in his college box, and Andy's mom's kind of like upset a little bit, because he's gonna grow up. He's gone, and Andy's like, "I wish I could always be with you." And Andy says, "You will be, Mom." And then that kind of gives Woody an idea. And the idea is he's gonna, and you'll see what it is. He writes a note on the box, and then he finds all his toys. He's like, "Hey, Mom, do you really think I should donate these?" And Andy's mom says, "It's up to you, son. Whatever you want to do." Then he goes to Bonnie's house, and I guess that's where he was told to go. And he goes to give his toys to Bonnie. He kind of introduces the toys. The green alien from Alien Planet, Rex the dinosaur, Jessie, Bullseye, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, Buzz Lightyear, Ham, and Slinky. The final guy he finds in there is Woody, and he was a little bit upset because he didn't want to give up Woody because it was hard. And then I'm going to talk about Woody. He says, "And Woody's been my pal for almost as long as I can remember. He's brave, like a cowboy should be. He's loyal. But the best part about Woody is he will never give up for you." And then he asks Bonnie if he can take care of him, and she says yes. And then they play with the toys one final time. And then as Andy goes to leave, he looks back at the toys. And Woody says, "So long, partner." And then that's how the movie ended. And I'm going to talk about the credits a little bit. It shows all the photos that they made on the wall. It's like a wall of fame. And it shows Chuckles, Trixie, and Rex are playing a computer game. Those little green balls I told you about got in Mr. Potato Head. I'm trying to think of something else. Oh, and now that Jesse knows about Buzz's Spanish mode, they play like Spanish music, and he does the tango with the the Mr. what's his name, Mr. Pickle Pants is doing theater. So I thought that was fine. And then that was how Toy Story. That's how actually Toy Story the movies ended. They do more short mini episodes on Disney Channel, and I'm gonna be talking about those. But this, to be honest with you, this really was the end of Toy Story. And I saw this the day it went in theaters. I watched it, and then I saw it in a drive-in movie. I watched it with my cousin AJ in theaters because he went to a birthday party, and I felt the same way every time I saw it. I am a big Toy Story fan, and when this is really when it ended for me, was the movies, And they're not gonna make any more movies. They're only gonna make those Tiny Toons, and they're gonna be talking about them. And to see Toy Story end, it's kind of sad for me because I was a big Toy Story fan. I watched Toy Story 1, and I always go back and watch Toy Story. In school, my tech class in 8th grade, because that's we had to take tech. The teacher let us watch Toy Story 1 and 2 because I guess the third one was coming out in theaters. He let us watch it. And you know what? Now that Toy Story pretty much is over, it's kind of sad. Now you see I see Tom Hanks now from Woody, and I see him on an advertisement on YouTube. I don't know what I was, and now I see that person who plays Trixie as Mabel. I see her, and because sometimes I'm forced to watch Gravity Falls. The guy that plays Buttercup, I see him in Wizards of Waverly Place is done now too. So now that Toy Story is over, it's kind of sad. Now, that's my end of my movie reviews of Toy Story. I'm not quite done with Toy Story yet, though. I still have to do those Tiny Toons. So Toy Story, the movie's low. But I guess if I had to give a review for this movie, if I had to rate it on a scale from 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 9. Because I think, though, that, actually, I'm going to give it a 10. It was a perfect movie, I think. They had the emotional parts, they had the comedy parts, and they had some action parts, And it kind of shows people ask what toys do when they're not home, and it shows it too. Toy Story 2, all the toys, I'm not going to grade it actually. All the Toy Stories are great. Toy Story 1 was good. Toy Story 2, and Toy Story 3. If I had to pick a favorite one, it would be 3. Because it was just a great way to end it. 1 was probably my second, and 2 was my third. But that's my final thoughts on Toy Story. I'm going to be doing the Tiny Toons now. So, when I get to it, I'll let you know. I probably maybe will do one tomorrow. They're not that long. They're only about 5 minutes long, right? But that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna be back maybe tomorrow to do my Tiny Toons. But that's pretty much it, guys. See you later.